Hello all, and welcome back to the channel. Kiner Knight here, and today I'm super excited to present you all with a new castle world building series. It's been a really long time since I've built my own castle here on the channel, and to be quite frank, it felt way overdue. And so now, since I have updated to the 1.19.2 Refabricated Mod, I'm super excited that I can now take advantage of all the new beautiful block additions and content added with the 1.19 client. And so I thought it would be super fun to just start fresh from scratch with an all new Castle Let's Build series. This castle building series will take place on the map of Ushea, created by the one and only Viggleman. So shout out to him for providing us with such an awesome map for download that we can build on. I will try to provide a download link in the description. And now for some lore. The castle you are witnessing being built is Castle Dobek of the Kingdom of Redania. It is built in the late 13th century to early mid 14th century Slavic style, with some of its main identifying features being 2 large towers and 2 keeps. It is a very formidable fortress with very strong defendable walls. The salty air over time has caused some corrosion and withering to the stone and plastering, with some of the lower parts of the castle almost completely being covered in algae. The castle sits on a very rocky promontory backed against the river Beck that leads out into the sea. The owner of the castle is a very powerful baron, who is also a direct relative of the king, more than likely an uncle or first cousin. His family has become very wealthy, not only just from the tax and income that their lands bring in, but also due to the fact that the Dobek Castle controls a very important merchant ship trade route. And so, merchants are heavily taxed to have the privilege to come into port to dock and offload their goods and cargo to bring it further inland. I really wanted this castle to feel not only imposing, but despite its withering, still very opulent and obviously in a realistic way. But as you can tell, this is going to be a long video, and I'm really excited to show off some of the interiors because I did put a lot of thought and research into them. So we're going to go ahead and let this time lapse finish out, and we're going to meet right back afterwards for the tour. Alright guys, we are back from the time lapse and we are right out front of the castle, and I have to say I'm really happy with how it all turned out. But real quick, before we start the tour, let's get a quick fly around. Just to mention, I will eventually get around to doing some work on the promontory here to make it blend and look a little better than it does. But as you can notice, the direction of the castle flags are all blowing. Makes sense, since that would be the direction the wind would need to blow to bring ships into port. So just a little bit of lore emphasis there. Alright guys, so we'll go ahead and start the tour from here. And as you can see, we have some nice, big, tall, imposing walls. You can kind of imagine how challenging it would be for an attacker to try to approach the castle from this way. This is the only way to approach the castle after all, and being shot at and attacked from defenders on the walls here. Lots of places to get just shot at from this angle. But we're moving on. We come to our first gatehouse here that has a drawbridge. Again, we can lift this drawbridge here to cut off our attackers, or we can allow them to come in and then lift it, so we can kind of create a bottleneck or box effect where they're trapped in between 2 places where they can't go nowhere, where of course our defenders can easily pick them off. And of course, for some of our natural defenses here, we have this moat that separates the outer wall from our curtain wall here, where again our defenders can easily and safely defend the castle from an invading attack. And going on to this gatehouse, we do have some murder holes here. And then moving on, we enter the first bailey, or the first ward, and I really love how this turned out. It came out so nice. I really wanted it to feel really rugged and kind of dirty, and just kind of a lot of makeshift kind of buildings going on in here. A lot of inspiration pulled from Kingdom Come Deliverance, obviously, but we have our chicken coops here. We have some places for wood, to store wood and keep it dry around. We have this little boon lift here. We'll get more onto that as we get through the tour. It's really cool up there. Of course, we have our horse-drawn wagon here where we're offloading some supply. And then over here we have our stables where our knights and our lord would store their horses. and courtesy of the Victory mod that added these mobs, these placeable mobs. Really cool. I really love being able to use this block. Again, another aspect of being able to use the 1.19 client. Then we have our Dove Cove here. As you can see, just some more storage, some more chicken coops over there. And then moving over here, we do have a nice simple well. So our people can get, our castle workers can get water for the animals and for themselves and any other day-to-day activities they may need water for. They can get it from here if they so choose. But then climbing up this ladder here, we have a little cool Easter egg, and we have about 12 of these Easter eggs around the castle. We have a cat, and they're known around the castle as the 12 princes. There are 12 of them, and we'll try to keep an eye out for each and every one of them. They're all up to something mischievous, I bet. So again, we'll keep an eye out for them to see what shenanigans they're up to. So again, we come to our gatehouse here. As you can see, very big, very strong, very imposing looking. We have our main, our second keep, or maybe first keep, however you look at it here. And then we have another tower there. And then we do have our coat of arms here. The castle coat of arms is a white eagle on a green field. And we'll see a lot of that going forward as we tour this castle. So let's go ahead and enter into this gatehouse. We have some portcullis right there. 2 portcullises in this gatehouse with some murder holes at the top. And then we do have arrow slits in the walls. And now these arrow slits are really cool in design because, again, if you're an attacker, well, if you get this far, if you think you can hide maybe in between one arrow slit here to avoid getting shot at, the effect that you get is we have an arrow slit right there that gets you. So there's no safe point to hide from the arrow slits because they offset each other. So that way, wherever you're standing, you're always in range of one arrow slit. So yeah, I thought that was a cool effect, a nice defense to add to this castle, this gatehouse here. Now walking into our main bailey, the first ward or the second ward, we have looks really cool in here. First off, did a lot of work. There's still some work to be done, I can say, but I really love how it all came together, how it came out. We have a little archery area here for our castle archers can just practice there. Then we have this little arena here for some tournaments or just some training amongst the knights and the guards, you know, home, sharpen their skills and stuff like that. Stay battle ready. And then over here we have a little area for them to just sit and have a drink, maybe, you know, take a load off after a nice workout. And then moving on, we have some more buildings back here. Over here we have our pig pen. We have a pig here that's eating some scraps on the ground, and the flies insinuating that the pigs do stink. And then we go into the pig pen, and that pig here is alive. He's just sleeping. And then we just have another pig there. Yeah, a nice little added detail to that little story in itself. And then over here we have our dog kennels or hound kennels, or however you want to look at it. Yes, these are wolves, but we're going to look at these and call them hounds for now. Yeah, so this is the kennel, and we can see that there's some bones in here, and some poor individual met his fate to these vicious hounds. And then we wonder, why are the hounds so agitated? Why they're so upset? And we see we have our second prince here, and he's just kind of chastising the hounds and stuff like that because he knows they can't get to him, so he likes to sit here and taunt them. So that's a cool little detail. So our second cat Easter egg. And then now looking up, we have these counterweights here that lead out through this gatehouse, or this second gate, with portcullis. As you can see, it's more makeshift looking. Maybe it was added on later in the castle's history, but basically it's so when defenders can come out here and defend the castle from here. In case of invaders want to attack by ship, they probably wouldn't. You'll have to be pretty crazy to try to make your way up this rocky promontory to attack the castle. But who knows, maybe if they were brave enough to try, we have a way to get out to the walls and defend and then retreat by closing that portcullis there. We do have these ballistas where we can load it and shoot harpoons at the ships and, you know, maybe burn them or, you know, just make it harder for them to attack us. So that's a cool little added detail that I thought. It also just creates more defense for the castle, because the more areas where people can get out to the wall, defenders can get out to the walls to protect the castle, the better. And so, yeah, I really liked how it turned out. Moving on. So again, we have our main keep right here, but I think we'll save that building for last. It's a lot going on in this Bailey. I did a lot of work, added a lot of details, but before we check those out, I want to go ahead and show you guys the buildings over here first. So we're going to go ahead and head up the stairs here. And before we go inside here real quick, I just want to give you guys a glance at how the portcullis gate mechanism looks. As you can see, really simple. It's self-explanatory, I think, easy to understand how it works. But I just want to give you guys a quick little look at that before we moved on. So let's go ahead and go into these doors here. And now stepping into this passageway here, we have two options. We can go straight or we can turn and go in through here, and that's what we'll do. And as you guys can notice, the beautiful colors and wall paintings, it feels really medieval, feels really 14th century in here, I think. Now this building is generally used by some knights. This castle houses a lot of knights, and so those knights need appropriate accommodations, and so this is one of the bed chambers that a couple of knights would share. We have this thing, we have a lot of these in the build. I forget what they're called, but they're basically take the place of a fireplace and they heat a room up without actually having to have a fireplace. So that's what that thing is. And again, we have our coat of arms there, the white eagle on a green field. Really cool, really simple. We're gonna turn down this passageway and come into the second bedroom on the tour. As you can see, very simple, you know, just pretty nice, pretty luxurious. Our knights live pretty good in this castle here, but that's pretty much it. We're gonna move on. And guys, just for a warning, there are a lot of bedrooms here, and most of the bedrooms will have this general format, but it's important to just kind of show you guys how they look though anyways as we move through the tour. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and head down this way, and we just have this sort of little sitting area. As you can see, really simple. But then coming into this room here, now this room I consider is sort of like the council room where the Lord and he has his most trusted knights and officials will sit here and they'll make plans and they'll go over things and discuss matters. Heavily, very heavily Kingdom Come Deliverance inspired this room. Yeah, I really love how it turned out though. It looks so cool with the tables, and then we have these nice windows here. We have some fire, we have some chandeliers. We have a nice fireplace here. Our decorations on the wall. We have our little area here for sitting and playing chess. Really cool stuff. Of course, we got our coat of arms up there on the wall too on our shields. But moving on, we gotta kind of run through this tour, guys, so the video doesn't be uber long, because it's already gonna be a long one. So anyways, we come to this next floor, and this is where our castle chapel is located, as you can see. Now, I really wanted this to be kind of opulent, but not overly opulent. Still pretty simple with just some paintings and some bright colors here, as you can see. We have a little place here to kneel down and what they will do their devotion, and we have some effigies right there. And then over here we have this little hand basin where they can wash their hand, the Lord and his family, when they come into the chapel here. And it looks pretty cool. Again, I didn't want it to be too over the top, and I think I achieved my goal. So leaving this room, we'll close the door, and now we're going to head over to the chaplain's room. And now, of course, being the chaplain, he has lots of books and scrolls and maybe religious texts and tomes where he studies, and basically he will make sure that the chapel is always up and running, and he prepares services for the Lord and his family when they need him. And of course, we have a little prince there laying on the floor taking a nap. And through this door here, we have a garderobe, and of course we have flies because it would smell in there, of course. So it's a really cool accommodations in there, but we'll go ahead and move on. Now going down this way, we have that little light there, and then we have this little area to wash your hands and to get a towel, because right here we have another garderobe. Can't have too many garderobes in a castle this big. So that's that. Now let's go ahead and move on up to the next level. And now this level, I like to think that this is where the castle scribes and maybe lawyers and other learned men, I would say, would stay. Maybe the Lord's children's tutor. This is where he would stay. Obviously, there's lots of books to be studied and a lot of things to read over, and maybe the Lord's kids come up here to have their daily studies and be taught by these men. And of course, in their personal accommodating rooms, we have a few beds, lots of places where there's books and scrolls, because their life is completely consumed with reading and studying, as a good teacher or tutor would be. So that's that over there. And then they have this little area right here to come and sit when they have their meals, of course. Here, very simple, but still very nice compared to how most people would live in the 13th and 14th century. This is not too bad. And so, of course, we have another room, very similar in setup, just some beds, lots of places to read, nothing much to say about that. So that's that. And so now I believe these stairs lead up to the final level, to this tower here. And of course, this is the very top of the tower. Look at this, guys. It's really rustic. It's really just kind of makeshift in here. A lot of makeshift beds, as you can see right here on the floor. Just a bed made of riffraff hay. One here, and then we have a couple over here. There's lots of supply thrown around. Wood planks to make repairs if needed. Ropes hanging if they need to, you know, string something up or whatever they may need to do. Lots of details in this room. We could be here probably for an hour alone just looking and checking everything out. And of course we have another Easter egg, our fourth prince on the tour. Our cat is obviously getting ready to pounce on that rat right there. So kind of cool, I think. So yep, that's that. And of course we have some more of our shields hanging on the wall with our coat of arms. Really cool. Check out that details up there on the ceiling. So that's that. That's the first tower, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and make our way back out to explore another part of this castle. Again, guys, this castle has a lot to check out, so we're gonna have to really move through it to see all of it in a timely manner. So we're not gonna be able to spend too much time on all the little details, but I hope you guys are still able to get some inspiration from what you're seeing. So we're gonna go ahead and go through this door now, and then we're gonna make our way down this walkway to approach this nice painted archway and door. We're gonna step in, and as you see, guys, this is the grand feasting hall, and I can just say I really loved how this room turned out. It's one of my favorite rooms on the tour. As you can see, we have this nice big fireplace keeping this place warm here with very pretty and bright colors, very festive feeling. We have plenty of tables to seat all of our guests. And then if we come around here, we have this nice fire right in the middle of our room to also add to the warmth and lighting. And then up on this dais, we have where our Lord sits. Look at this, it looks so nice, so cool. Obviously the Lord and his closest friends would sit up here with him, and they would feast and drink and enjoy themselves. And I really love, once again, I really love how this room turned out. One of my favorite rooms on the tour. And of course we have some of our coat of arms shields up on the walls here to be displayed before our guests. But moving on, we want to make sure that this video doesn't drag out way too long. So we're going to go ahead and check out the kitchens next, right below our feasting hall here. And now, I like to imagine we can have up to 100 people working in the kitchens at a time, preparing and getting stuff ready for our feast upstairs. So this is the kitchen. As you can see, we have these arches, really cool looking down here, very rustic. And then over here, we have another little prince. He's eyeballing that ham right there and stuff. So I thought that was kind of cute. But anyways, we have a big oven right here to prepare food. And then we have a big table here also. Some things hanging there. And then we over here, we have another little cooking station, a little stove or oven, cooking some soups or stews. And then of course we just have some shelving here that's holding some supply. And then this area is where our bread is being prepared and made. We have some flour, maybe a jar of honey, some eggs, and some water to make our honey cakes or bread, whatever. And then we have these ovens here to bake our bread. Really cool design. Really, I think it really works with the style and the century that my castle is built in. Really cool in here. I really like how it came out. I really just love the feel in here. It really feels like how a medieval kitchen would probably have looked, in my opinion. But anyways, moving on, we come into the cellars. And yes, this is where all the ale and mead and wine and beer, whatever you want to call it, and other supplies would be kept. It's a little cooler down here. It's at the bottom of the castle, and it is pretty dark too. Obviously, it's the cellar, so we need to go ahead and grab a light real quick. And there we go. Now we can see a little bit better and give you guys a better perspective of what's going on down here. As you guys can see, once again, there's lots of barrels of mead and wine and whatever the Lord would like down here. And again, a lot of this can come from the ships that are being taxed by the Lord, and maybe he requires them to pay him a few barrels of their finest wine or something. But anyways, moving on, we come into this special little room here. And now this is the room of the cellar master. And of course, his responsibility is to make sure our cellars stay stocked with the Lord's favorite types of wines and meads and stuff. And he has a nice little setup here, very cozy, some storage, some places to store things, and he has a nice bed here. And then of course we have a prince on the floor here that found his way into the cellar master's room, and he's taking a little nap, so we're gonna go ahead and leave him alone. I think that's probably the 5th prince on the tour so far. I don't know. But anyways, we'll go ahead and move on. And just to put everything into perspective, give you guys an idea of where we just were at, where we came from. So moving on, we're gonna go ahead and enter back into the kitchens and go ahead and check out another part of the castle. Well, actually, we're gonna go ahead and go back. We're gonna approach the next part of the castle from the outside instead of through the kitchen. Now this next building we're gonna check out is the first keep on the tour, and this is the keep where all the knights and their squires would live, and all their rooms are located in. And of course we have a solar here, and again guys, we have lots of solars in this castle. But anyways, we have places for people to sit, a nice fireplace here to keep the room warm, of course. And I really wanted this room to be designed, or all the rooms in the castle, I really wanted it to be designed in a functional way, as well as being aesthetically pleasing. And so I think I achieved that. But now going on to check out some of the rooms, we open the door here, and we come into our first room into this part of the keep. We have this nice bedroom. And again, now this is for more higher class, more decorated knights. Again, under the idea that during war times, other lords would bring knights, and other knights that have paid the homage to this lord would come to the castle for service, and maybe they would stay here for a few months or whatever, how long their services are needed. And so they would have to have accommodations, nightly accommodations and stuff. They left their own castles to come to your castle to stay for a period of time, and so they need very fancy and luxurious accommodation for themselves. And so that's what I made sure to add when making the nightly rooms. And again, over here we have more another solar is connected right there, so you guys know where we're at. A nice cool solar here. And then another cool little feature is this wall walk. By going out to that door here, we can get to the walls here, the battlements, to quickly defend the castle if it needed be. And again guys, I know I'm speeding through it, but we don't want this video to be too long, as I've been mentioning. But moving on, we open the doors here, and now if you guys remember when we walked through that big gatehouse, this is the arrow slits that are located. As you can see, this is how our guards, our knights would access those arrow slits to defend in case of an invasion here. And so this is what they look like from the other side. Lots of areas, ways to shoot and defend in the walls. Very important to have features like that when it comes to a medieval castle. But moving on, there is more to see in there, but we'll get to it later on in the tour. We're gonna go ahead and take this hallway down and go up these stairs to the next level of our castle here. And as you see, very cool. Again, I really wanted this to feel like an authentic 13th, 14th century castle. This is what I like to consider the knight's room, where the knights gather to discuss, much like our lord's kind of battle room. This is the knights kind of battle room where they'll get together and they'll sit around this table and they'll discuss matters of war or just how the lord's lands are, and they'll just try to manage it and rally troops and figure out best ways, best points of defending the land and stuff like that. And if we open this door, we see this lets out into that feasting hall there. And so just giving you guys again some perspective of where everything is located here in this castle. I really love how this room turned out. Open the door here. Again, you guys can see there's another way to access this room is through there. This castle connects in all types of ways. It's a really cool castle. It's really made intentionally to be like that. It's kind of windy. You can easily get lost, to be honest. I still get lost exploring the halls myself. But anyways, moving on through here, this is also a stairway that leads up, but we won't take that quite yet. But we will go ahead and head this way and enter into the upper levels of our gatehouse here. And now this is our gatehouse slash guard barracks slash armory. You'll find all the gear that you would need if you're a guard, located in these this portion of the castle. As you can see, lots of stuff, lots of weapons. And now moving through here, we got some arrows, we have some shields, we have some helmets and stuff like that. Shields on the wall. We have some table. We have a table where our guards is maybe playing some cards or just relaxing. And now this is the main part of our gatehouse, and this has some cool features here. We have these big twin portcullis on each side of the room, and then here we have this stove, and this stove works with this over here. So we have this sand that's spilled out of this bucket, and now what you would do is you'll fill up your bucket, pour it in there, pour the sand in there and heat it up, and then when you need to, you can just pour it down on the poor foolish souls who thought it was a smart idea to attack this castle. And so there you have that. And then also another murder hole there, but also we have this ragstone here where you can dump down into those murder holes as well to defend and attack attackers. Pretty brutal, I know, but very realistic. And right off the gatehouse here, we have the latrine. And as you can see, we have some flies because it's very stinky in here. And of course, we have some flowers here to try to help with the odor that would permeate from those stalls. But moving on. So guys, we're gonna go ahead and check out some more rooms on this level of the castle now. And like I said, guys, it's gonna be pretty much what you've already come to expect, but we're just gonna pop in and check them out anyways. As you can see, we have some decorations on the wall, a chest in the corner for some storage, a table to write at, and a couple of beds. Really cool stuff. We'll close the door, and then down the hall we have another room here. Again, just trying to change up little details here and there to try to give some type of variation to the build, so everything is not 100% cookie cutter. But moving up these stairs, we come into the next portion of this keep. And now this portion of the castle is very communal. It houses the general knight population and squires. Again, these are going to be more lower ranked knights who don't have their own castles, who may live in this castle, or maybe, again, if this castle had to house other guests or other people who are coming to reinforce their troops, they would need places to sleep, and so this room would serve that purpose. Lots of beds in here, lots of places to sit and eat. And again, there's our 6th cat right there. He's up to something we don't know yet, but we definitely know he's up to something. But moving on, if we go through these doors here, we come to a small little tower here that can be used to defend if needed be, if the castle's being attacked. It's very simple, nothing too special, but I just want to show you guys it anyways. We'll head down to the very bottom. Okay, opening the door here. As you can see, this is where we're located. Okay, so now going back down to the very bottom. Again, if you're a guard and you're on the wall and you have to use a restroom, there you have it right there. As you can see, the flies insinuating that it's probably something left in there that smells bad. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and head back up. Again, very communal. The dwellings are up here. It would house the general military population that are known as knights, or just more higher ranked soldiers than just your average castle guard. So opening the doors here, we come into the third level of, or the upper level of the gatehouse. As you can see, we have our portcullis mechanisms here. Very standard. I think you can kind of figure out how they work just by looking at it. It would take 2 men on each side to wind it up to bring the portcullis up or down. And then looking out these windows here, you can see how easily defendable this gatehouse could be. It has a pretty good view of the ground from looking from the window there, so you know, easily can pick off anyone invading that's made it this far to the gatehouse. Lots of arrows in here as well. Really cool. Again, this would be right here. If you guys remember that part of the castle we just looked at. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of where we're located. And again, that door leads out to this portion of the castle. Again, give you guys a little bit of perspective of where we're at and how the castle kind of moves and the flow of it. It's actually pretty windy. If you were here to explore it yourselves, you would probably get lost, I would say, just exploring the halls, because it is kind of confusing. And that's actually the point of a castle, at least the way I wanted this castle to be built. But anyways, moving on to the next floor. And now, if you were to ask me, I would say this was my favorite floor in the castle. I really love the look, the feel of this area. Right here, we have another garderobe with some flies. And then moving on, I just really love the red and white and the orange, how it just goes so well together. Here we have a little solar sitting area to just eat and just relax with a small group of maybe knights or soldiers, whatever. A nice fireplace right there in that corner, and then a nice desk there for writing. It came out really beautiful, I think. I love this part of the castle. So maybe this is the floor for like maybe the generals or captains of the guard or captain knight or whatever. They would probably stay up here in this area. As you can see, this is one bedroom here. And then moving down the hall, we'll check out the second bedroom here. Very simple setup, very simple layout. All good, all cool stuff. And then going up to the next floor, we have another cool floor here. And now, again, we come into another kind of sitting area of the castle. Nothing too special. We're just gonna run through these areas real quick. We have this solar room, again, another solar. Like I said, lots of solars in this castle. It is a huge castle, so there's gonna be lots of places for people to dwell and stuff. And also we can use those rooms for bedrooms if needed be. Speaking of bedrooms, this is another bedroom here. And then down the hall here, we have another bedroom. Really cool look, I think. All the bedroom, even though most of it is pretty similar, I still feel that I added enough variations to the rooms to kind of make them all interesting in their own right. And now moving on, opening this door here. We're gonna go up the stairs here, open this door, and now we come into the very top of this first keep. And now this is an area where guards would stay, just normal castle guards as well, maybe some knights or whatever. If they're on duty to guard this part, this is where they would just live. It's very communal here. They have a place to eat, lots of storage around the room. As you can see, weapons and arrows. As you can see, arrows would be very important for this part of the castle, because again, you can look out the arrow slits here and attack people from the shore over there who's attacking the castle or trying to storm the beach there. And then you get out on the wall walk up here. And now finally we have our 6th prince here, and it looks like he's about to pounce on that bird, but hopefully he doesn't fall off. But anyways, we have this crane here, and now this crane is very useful because this is a very tall building here, and again, getting supply up to the very top would be very difficult, and I'm pretty sure it would be very annoying. So all you would need to do is load it up down there, and then you can easily just haul it up to the top of the castle here, and then offload it there, and then take it to whatever parts of the castle it may need to go. And so again, I thought that was a cool little feature that a castle can have, especially a castle as big as this one. It makes sense. But we're gonna go ahead and move on. Again, the advantages of a building this large is not only is it going to be very imposing and look really good on the landscape, but it also will give you very great sight lines and views of the landscape, so you can see who's attacking the castle from far away. And of course, it is crenellated, so you can easily defend it without necessarily being in danger yourself. But from here, we're gonna go ahead and head back down because we have completed the tour on this part of the castle, the first keep. And now we're gonna go ahead and move on to, I think we're gonna go ahead and check out the main keep where the Lord stays. And yes, I did just get turned around again, guys. I'm telling you, it really is easy to get lost exploring this castle. But I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do a quick jump to where we need to go instead of trying to walk all the way there. Just in 1 second. There we go, guys. So anyways, we're gonna just go ahead and just start from here instead. We're gonna make our way through the gatehouse because I want to show you guys the common guard areas, their actual barracks. So stepping into this area, we're gonna look at the guards where they eat mainly. As you can see, the walls are not necessarily decorated or painted. They are painted with some yellow plaster, and that's mainly to maintain the stone and not really to add luxury to it. But there's this door here, I'm sorry, that leads down. I want to show you that. But there's places for the guards to relax and chill, and at the end of the day, this is still a cool little setup. And then right here, we have a garderobe right off the dining room. Maybe not the best place to have it, but hey, it's better to have one there than to not. And then over here in the corner, we have a nice fireplace, keeping this place nice and warm and toasty. But moving up the stairs here, and guys, I know I keep saying this, but I really love this floor. It's definitely one of my favorites. It's very inspired off of Dobek Castle's part of the castle where Lady Stephanie and Sir Robard stays, and it's very cabiny feeling, and you know, and so I wanted to add that to my castle because I thought it would look really nice, especially for this part of the castle. Right here, it's considered the kind of the map room, I guess. The Lord can come here and look over the map and see what lands he owns and what territories he wants to conquer or who he wants to ally with and stuff like that. And we have some cool stone detailing being shown prominently through the wood detailing in this room, and I really just love how it all came together. But moving on, we come to the top of this tower, and much like the last tower we saw, it's very similar in design and everything else. We have some riffraff beds thrown about, nothing too fancy. The guards that would be here would not be staying here because they need luxury. They would just be on duty, and so we do have a table and some other places for them to sit down and just relax a little bit, but they would just be on guard here watching the windows and stuff like that. But just look at the details, guys. It looks really good. Looks really nice. We have our shields up there, but with that, I think we're done with this portion of the castle. So we're gonna go ahead and make our way to the main keep. Just deciding which way I want to go. Again, guys, like I said, it's easy to get mixed around, but we'll try to do our best to try to make our way and find which way we need to go. Let me go back. So yeah, again, I'm kind of all mixed up. So I'm gonna go ahead and go down this way. There's some stairs. Okay, we'll take this door here. We'll go down through here, and then we'll go back through the lower gatehouse area. Wait, hold on. Okay, this is it. All right. All right, so now we're back outside, you guys, and now we're gonna go ahead and head in this direction here and make our way into the main keep. And now, after opening these doors, we'll step into this big hall here, where we are greeted with this warm fire in the middle of the room. Very beautifully painted walls, very neutral, but still very colorful. And we have our 6 prince right there sleeping cozily by the fire. Was that the 6th cat or the 7th? I honestly have already lost track. But anyways, let's move on. So to note, we do have about 4 of these stairwells that are on a corner of each part of this castle's keep, and each one leads up, but not all of them lead up to the main floor where the Lord resides, and that is because we don't want to make it too easy for just anyone to just make it up to the Lord's floor, you know, so that's a little cool defense and design. But moving on, opening that door there, we'll step right on into the castle's throne room, and as you can see, it looks really cool. At least I think it looks really cool. We have this fireplace here keeping the room warm, and then over here on this raised dais we have the Lord's throne where he would sit and make his rulings. And then over here we have a little area where I would imagine the cupbearer would sit, and then over here is where the scribe would sit when he's recording anything the Lord has to say. But opening the door and moving on, we step back here into another solar area. We have a nice fireplace, a place by the fire to sit, a little area over here for some writing, and then we have this little kind of sitting, eating nook there, and then this nice window seating area also. And then opening the, if we turn back around, we'll open this door here, just to give you guys an idea of where we're at, of the part of the castle we're at. And then coming down this way, we're going to go ahead and explore this tower here. Another area where the guards will hang out and guard and, you know, check out and see what's going on out there. So let's go down to the bottom floor. Again, I really love making things look really rustic and, you know, kind of lived in and stuff like that. So I think this came out really cool. We'll go back up this ladder though. We won't spend too much time in this place. Let's go up to the top. We'll take this ladder up. And now again, we have just another little area for some guards to sleep and hang out and just look out like this and shoot from these, from the safety of the tower. And over here we have another prince. We'll say that's the 8th prince, and of course he has his eyes on his meal, which is that rat right there. A lot of cool details going on in this castle. But we're gonna go ahead and take it right back into the main keep again. Now, I want to show you guys something really cool before we explore more of the main keep. It was not necessarily a last minute thing, but it was something I thought about doing that I didn't know if I wanted to or not, but then I just went ahead and did it. So we're going to open that door there and head all the way down. And by now, if you guys can imagine, here we are, the dungeon or the jail area of the castle. And now down here, we have a lot of torturing devices because this is the torture room. And as you can see, we have a stretcher right here in the middle of the room. And then on the walls, we have a lot of sharp objects and stuff like that. We have hammers and other devices. Maybe they were used for torture. Pretty brutal, I know, but I thought it'd be a little bit of fun and just being a little creative and just kind of creating something like this. We have a chair right here, a spiked chair. I guess you can imagine what that would be used for. And then we have a guillotine there. And then we have this cage that kind of sits over, excuse me, a hot fire. And you can imagine how they will also use that, so I don't really need to explain it. But stepping on out of that, we come to where they keep prisoners, and they lock them up in here. As you can see, this guy's been locked up. Maybe he did some really horrible things, and you know. But yeah, they have some riffraff to sleep on. That's about all they get, and some shackles on the wall there. And then moving on, pretty much all the jails are the same. Yeah, we got some spider webs, some cobwebs in the corner up there. Just cool little details like that. I really like adding stuff like this because a place like this really tells a story, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. But moving on, we'll go ahead and head through these doors here, and then we come into another lower part of the castle. And now this room is again another area where guards or knights or maybe even squires would stay. As you see, it's pretty nice. It's not too bad. We have a fireplace there. We have this little storage area there for supply. We have a table for eating and for hanging out at. And then, of course, if we go through these doors here, we have quick access to the battlements out here, where we can get out here and quickly defend in case of an emergency. Really cool. I really like the design of this. Really simple. It feels really medieval, I would say. And then opening that door there, we get to the arrow slits in the wall here, where again we have a way to attack invaders if they are coming through our gatehouse, if they make it that far, which I doubt they would, but we do have the defense in case they did. And so with that, we can head back on up and finish exploring the main keep. So we'll go ahead and double back through here. And I want to go ahead and check out this other part of the gatehouse. We haven't been in this part yet. We were on the other side of it, but we didn't come to this side yet. Obviously, it does look the same, so we probably wouldn't be missing much if we skipped it, but I just wanted to show you guys anyways because we were already here, so why not? Anyways, we'll head right back up the stairs here. And now to decide which way to go from here, I guess we'll go ahead and open the door here. And we'll probably take one of those stairwells up. I believe we'll take this one and we'll go right on up. Again, I still plan to do some more work on these stairwells because I want to make them a little bit more narrow feeling, but that'll have to do for now. But anyways, now we're stepping to the private dining hall for the Lord. And now this hall would be reserved for special intimate guests. So it's not for big feasting, it's just for, you know, entertaining a small group of maybe lords or something like that. But it's really nicely designed, nice wall paintings as you can see, bright red plaster with orange accents. Feels really medieval here. Then we have these window seats, and unfortunately, due to the design of the windows, I couldn't put any glass in them, and it kind of bothers me that I can't, because I really would like to. But the way I kind of fix the fact that they're just open is we have those shutters on the outside of the windows, these shutters, so if they ever wanted to like close out the elements, the servants could just close those and stuff like that. Honestly, it's not what I really wanted, but I guess I'm just gonna have to be happy with that. But anyways, moving on, we'll go ahead and exit out of here, and now I'll just take you guys up to the top of this tower as well. Again, it pretty much looked the same as the last tower. Just some areas to look out and just to see who could be approaching the castle. And then we're gonna go ahead and head back down and move on to the next level of this castle. And now here is known as the guard or the Lord's Guards floor, and the guards that stay on this floor are a little bit higher ranking than the normal castle guards. These are the guards. They're pretty much knights without the actual title of knights. And in this bedroom here, we have the captain of the guard, bed chambers, and as you can see, it's pretty nice. Nice little window seat here, nice fireplace, nice bed. He does have a little bed in the corner there for maybe his squire or something like that. But moving on, we can see we have some tables. The guards would be able to sit there and just kind of relax when they're not on guard duty or something like that. Another little room here for multiple guards to sleep in. We have some bunk beds. Again, an attacker that wanted to gain access to the Lord's floor, they'll have to come to this floor first and meet all these guards face on, because the only way to the Lord's floor is to go through this floor. And you'll see real soon what I mean by that. Here we have some arrow slits where we can look out through the wall. And we can also close these when we want to like keep the weather out. And here we have a garderobe for our guards, a place to wash your hands, and now another tower to explore. Well, I wouldn't say explore, but a tower to walk up. Again, not much to say about this. So we'll head back down. And now we'll go to that stairway that leads up to the Lord's floor. As you can see, at the end of the building is the stairway up. So again, attackers will have to make it all the way to this point to have access to the Lord's floor. So a cool little defense and design there too. And as you can see, we have another solar / dining room. Now this dining room is designed for the Lord and his immediate family, his immediate household would sit here and eat. So they probably would take the majority of their meals, their family meals here. And as you can see, the beautifully painted walls, very neutral colors, but the paintings and the designs on the wall kind of brings it all together, I think. Beautiful, I think. So anyways, we'll leave out of there. And it's all really painted. I did my due diligence on this level for sure. We have this little bathing area where the Lord can take a personal bath, or you know, maybe his wife or whoever stays on this floor have access to this room where they can take a bath and get clean. A little tub there. Some seating in here, some storage areas, and then opening this up, we have a garderobe, of course. After the garderobe, you go straight to the bath to clean yourself up properly. There's a couple of wardrobes there for a change of clothes once you get out the bath. And then moving on down, we'll come to the first bedroom on this floor. And again, very nice, very luxurious. I'm not sure who exactly will stay here. Maybe one of the kids of the Lord, or one of his personal maids would stay here. And then I believe that would be the 12th prince there. I'm not sure at this point. We've already lost track like 4 times. But anyways, we have another bedroom here. Very beautifully decorated. Nice wall paintings, of course. And then we have a bedroom here. Again, very simple, but really nice. Really utilizing the space well, I think. 2 little beds in here for some guests. And now we're gonna go check out the main bedrooms on this floor. And then we step into the ladies of the castle's bedroom. Nice, beautiful red plaster with that nice, pretty orange and red design to complement, to kind of offset the color a little bit. We got some green drapery hanging from the walls too. I forget what it's called, the medieval term for it. But we have a nice window seat there. The lady has everything that she would need to be happy in this room. Very cool. And now to check out the Lord's room. And as you can see, very nice. Again, nice painted walls, very colorful. A nice place to sit right here, eat, maybe go over some scrolls. A nice place, a fire right there. And this nice bed on this raised dais here. Very lordly, very rich, very opulent. And then we have a little cage. Maybe the Lord has a falcon that he keeps in his room. I don't know. But yeah, that's the Lord's room, and that's pretty much the top floor of this keep. I really went all out for this floor. I really love how it came out, and I hope you guys did too. But it comes to me that we have actually forgot a portion of this castle, and that is the kitchen area and the servant area. I don't know how we forgot, but we have. So we're gonna go ahead and backtrack and check those areas out. We do got some really cool features located down there, so bear with me, guys. All right, so we're just gonna jump here and we're outside our main keep where our kitchen is located, and we're gonna go ahead and open these doors here. And as you can see, we step into the servants' quarters. Very drab, very plain, and very rustic, of course. And this is where our servants would stay. Oops. And over here, there we go. We just have a little pantry closet right here for some extra storage, really. That's all it is for. Nothing fancy in there. We'll get the door to close. And then of course they have tables to sit and eat right here. And we have some beds also for some of our servants to sleep. Some of the servants have to sleep on these more humble beds, I guess you can call them. But yeah, supplies around, cleaning supplies and stuff like that. But stepping in here, we come to this castle's kitchen, and now this is the kitchen that would provide the food. The food that comes out of this kitchen would be the daily food that this lord would eat, pretty much. So whenever the lord would have dinner or whatever with his family, it would come out of this kitchen. We have some scrolls, some recipes there. Then we have a little oven there for baking bread, as you can see. We also have a bread making station there. Self-explanatory, I think. Yep, so moving on through there. We go through this door here, and we come into a small little pantry area where this kitchen pulls from to make the meals of the day for the Lord. Nothing much, but just some storage, some stuff. We got jars and mainly little bags of like grain and stuff. But anyways, moving on, we open this door and we have some servants bedding areas. And now, it doesn't really show it very well, but the ideal is maybe, you know, 6 to 8 people would be in one room at a time and stuff. We do the best we can when it comes to Minecraft. We do the best we can. But anyways, yeah, I really love how this room came out. It's really simple. It feels poor, especially compared to the other rooms that we've seen on the tour. So it works well, I think. And then opening this door here, I don't know why that's so buggy. Open the door here, we have another servant's room. Again, very shabby is the point. Yeah. And then rounding off the tour, we'll go ahead and head down this hallway. And then looking up directly, we can find actually, I guess this is the 12th and final prince on our tour. He's just hanging out up there. And our castle is super fancy. So we do have this indoor well here. And again, that works towards having a good defense, because that means our water couldn't be easily contaminated from like outside sources or something like that. So our castle under a siege will still have fresh water to drink. And it's self-explanatory. You tie off your bucket and throw it down there and then haul up your water however you need. But that's pretty much it, guys. And I thank you guys for hanging out and making it through this very long video. But I hope you guys found some inspiration along the way also. Wow, guys, that was a long one, but I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, and if you were able to take away some inspiration, please do me a favor. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, because it really helps, and I do really appreciate it. I really did put a lot of work and effort into this build, you know, to give you guys something that you guys can take away and maybe implement in your own builds down the line. I hope you join me back here for the next episode, where we will start to build up the town walls. And now I have a few ideas of how I want it to look. I'm leaning towards a wood and stone kind of feel. I don't know, you guys let me know what you want to see in the comment section below. And until next time, from Dobek Castle, this has been The Kinder Knight, and I bid you a farewell.